Let's get right into it. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to break down exactly why the traditional thrift flip model is, quite frankly, dying, and how a massive new micro-distribution ecosystem is stepping up to take its place. If you've been paying any attention to the resale market, you know things are shifting rapidly, and the old ways of doing business are leaving local entrepreneurs behind. But listen, here's the incredible takeaway right from the jump. The death of the traditional thrift flip is actually phenomenal news. Seriously, it completely validates a much smarter, sustainable micro-distribution model built on having zero cost of goods and zero sourcing time. So let's explore exactly how this is happening.
Okay, let's dive into this by asking the harsh reality question every single traditional reseller is facing today. Is the golden era of thrift flipping officially over? For decades, the formula was beautifully simple. You'd spend a Saturday driving to a local thrift store, dig through the racks, find a mispriced hidden gem, maybe a vintage jacket or some designer jeans, and flip it online for a solid profit. It was a literal treasure hunt that rewarded your time and your knowledge. But that entire model is actively crumbling beneath the feet of resellers everywhere. The landscape has fundamentally changed, turning what used to be a really fun, lucrative side hustle into an absolute grind with shrinking margins.
And here's why. Recent market analysis reveals a stark reality. Major thrift stores like Savers, Value Village, and Goodwill are starting to use AI to accurately price their items and maximize their own profits. Traditional resellers are watching their upfront cost of goods sold absolutely skyrocket because these corporate thrift stores aren't relying on human guesswork anymore. Instead, they're using automated artificial intelligence tools to scan items and aggressively match the highest prices currently listed on sites like eBay. Add to that the fact that everyday tools like Google Lens have completely wiped out the reseller's knowledge advantage. Anyone with a smartphone can instantly know the exact market value of an item, creating a perfect storm for a dying business model.
Now contrast that highly competitive, dying model, filled with wasted gas, fighting AI pricing algorithms, and rapidly shrinking margins, with the actual macro demand happening in the real world. Consumers are aggressively seeking affordable secondhand goods. We are looking at a glaring, massive bottleneck in the industry right now. On one side, you have this huge demand from everyday families for affordable items, but on the other side, the traditional supply chain for resellers to actually provide those items is totally broken. Resellers can't find cheap inventory to supply a public that desperately wants it, which means a totally new system has to bridge that gap.
Just to put that macro demand into perspective, the domestic U.S. thrift market demand is projected to hit a staggering $64 billion by 2026. $64 billion! That is an enormous amount of consumer money actively looking for a place to be spent. Furthermore, the data shows the average household saves over $2,140 a year by buying secondhand. The demand for affordable, local shopping is literally at an all-time high. Consumers are actively looking for these deals to fight inflation and save their family budget, but they just need a better, more localized way to find them outside of that expensive corporate retail machine.
Which brings us to the paradigm shift, introducing the $1 FBA coin community marketplace.
To actually capture that $64 billion market demand without the crippling overhead and AI competition, a new decentralized resale ecosystem completely rewrites the rules of inventory. And right at the heart of this is the Pro Host. Basically, a Pro Host is a local entrepreneur operating a micro-distribution hub with absolutely zero cost of goods sold and zero sourcing time. This is the exact model validated by the death of the traditional thrift flip. By becoming a Pro Host, you completely bypass the thrift store AI. Why? Because free community donations are routed directly to you through the Marketplace app. You don't have to hunt for inventory anymore. The inventory organically comes directly to your neighborhood hub. Now, what's really interesting about how this marketplace functions is the extreme 1-to-10 preferred pricing advantage. The ecosystem runs on a dual pricing economy designed to empower the community. Imagine wanting to buy a winter jacket from a local host. The standard cash price using regular US dollars might be $1, but the member discount using the ecosystem's native FBA coin is the equivalent of just 10 cents. You can see how this mathematically incentivizes buyers to use the local digital token over regular fiat currency, right? It creates massive localized buying velocity. It makes everyday items astonishingly affordable while keeping the value entirely locked within the neighborhood ecosystem.
So let's look at how this builds a perfectly sustainable loop in a real neighborhood. Step 1. A neighbor has some items they no longer need and donates them through the app. Step 2. A local Pro Host claims that inventory and sells it. Step 3. 20% of those cash sales automatically goes to fund the overarching FBA coin pool. And finally, step 4, the original donor is gifted 10% of the sale's FBA coin value as a reward for giving up their items. It's brilliant. A completed, real-world physical transaction securely backs the digital token and rewards absolutely everyone involved in the cycle.
But what if a donor doesn't want to wait around for a pickup? That introduces the mini-host. A mini-host is a donor who securely hosts their own donated items in a combo locked chest, right at their house, for buyers to pick up directly. And for facilitating that contactless, automated pickup, the donor retains 80% of the sale. Think about why this is such a complete game changer for modern consumers. Nobody likes coordinating schedules or waiting around for meetups. This offers ultimate convenience, a 24/7 automated pickup system, and it's a highly efficient way to turn your neighborhood clutter into immediate, tangible value without ever leaving your driveway.
Of course, none of this works if items just sit there gathering dust. The marketplace achieves local liquidity when 80% of standard donations are claimed by a host within 48 to 72 hours. Why is that specific window so magical? Well, because if items sit stagnant, the ecosystem dies. By actively tracking this time-to-claim velocity metric on the back end, the platform ensures that inventory moves rapidly, hosts stay active, and the local economy maintains a highly liquid, constant heartbeat. It guarantees the system stays fluid for everyone participating.
Let's summarize exactly why traditional resellers are transitioning over to this new model. The advantages are just unparalleled. Zero cost of goods sold, zero sourcing time. You keep an 80% profit split on your in-app sales. But here is the most powerful part. This model gives you the absolute operational freedom to take premium finds, cross-list them on external platforms like eBay or OfferUp, and keep whatever price the external market will bear. The death of the old thrift flip model is phenomenal news because it forces resellers into this much more profitable, stress-free model, where your upfront financial risk is completely eliminated.
The entire machine runs on a beautifully transparent revenue split, as you can see here. 80% of the revenue is retained directly by the pro host or mini host making the local sale. The remaining 20% is retained by the organization. But instead of just sitting in some corporate bank account, that 20% is automatically used to purchase coin for liquidity. To explain that simply, by constantly using that 20% to buy back the local token, the system continuously reinvests in itself. It keeps the digital coin valuable and ensures there are always funds to reward the neighbors who donate their items in the first place.
Furthermore, the ecosystem leverages existing community infrastructure by empowering nonprofits and advocates. Through the Community Partner Program, these organizations get free UltraHost software access to act as the local street team. They get priority, first dibs on donation bins, so they can give items away completely for free to those in need. Plus, this solves a huge problem for charities. Instead of constantly begging for cash donations, they can just sell their excess salvageable physical inventory right on the marketplace. By retaining that 80% cut, they sustainably fund their own charitable operations just by moving local goods.
So as the old thrift model officially crumbles under artificial intelligence and relentless corporate competition, the real question is, are you ready to adapt? Will you continue wasting gas, fighting over overpriced thrift store scraps, or will you step into the future of zero-sourcing micro-distribution? Think about what happens to a local business when the cost of acquiring goods instantly drops to zero. This isn't just a trend, it's a fundamental shift in local commerce that makes the old way obsolete. And honestly, that is phenomenal news for anyone ready to build a sustainable local resale business moving forward.